God's chosen ones, you must hear this today. Don't ignore. You didn't arrive here by accident. Even if a stray tap brought you to this moment, heaven has been arranging the timing with a precision you can't see yet. Receive this like a summons, not a suggestion. Something in the atmosphere has been shifting, quiet but relentless, like pressure building before rain. Your soul has felt it, the sudden heaviness that drifts in for no obvious reason, the urge to step back from certain rooms and routines, the restlessness that keeps whispering, "There's more than this." Those are not random moods, they're spiritual indicators. They are the bell chimes in your inner temple declaring, the reset has begun, both across the earth and inside your heart. Listen, God is not merely changing circumstances, He is realigning destinies. He is cleansing what's been compromised and repairing what's been quietly bent out of shape. This is not only global, it's intensely personal. It is about your alignment, your sensitivity, your calling. And the instruction in this hour is simple and severe. Protect your spirit before the shift intensifies. This is not a season for numb scrolling, for passive belief, for living as if faith were a background app. This is a season of wakefulness. No more delay, no more bargaining for one more sign. You're in it. This moment is the sign. If the pressure against your life has felt heavier lately, if your circle has thinned, if your clarity has been contested by fog and static, that's confirmation, not condemnation. It means you are on heaven's radar. Chosen ones draw resistance because chosen ones carry assignments. The enemy rarely wastes ammunition on the indifferent. He targets heat. Yet the Lord is faithful. He will establish you and guard you when you guard your gates, your eyes, your ears, your inner speech. Protection in this hour looks like consecration in the small things, what you watch, how you speak to yourself, whether you give your attention to the trivial or to the timeless. Breathe with me for a moment. Inhale slowly, Jesus. Exhale gently, have mercy. Again, Jesus, have mercy. This is not theatrics, it's training your nervous system to remember who is Lord of your storm. Your breath becomes intercession. Your body becomes agreement. You are not just thinking about faith, you are inhabiting it. Some of you have felt friendships loosen like leaves in late autumn. That's not rejection, it's release. God is not punishing you. He is pruning you. He removes what cannot travel with the next assignment. Others have sensed anger that doesn't make sense, tears with no tidy explanation. That too is mercy. When the Spirit cleanses, He lifts what's buried so it can be healed in the light. Do not label your detox as defeat. Call it what it is, preparation. There is a distinction being drawn in this hour between those who flirt with their calling and those who walk in it. You weren't designed to blend in. You carry light for the days when darkness gets loud. That is why distractions have multiplied. That is why the old coping mechanisms suddenly feel like sand. God is calling you into grown faith, faith that knows how to stand when applause is absent, faith that knows obedience is the doorway to clarity. The wise do not wait for perfect feelings. They move at God's whisper. And yet, hear the tenderness in this urgency. The Lord is not shouting at you, He is gathering you. He is the shepherd who walks into your confusion and leads you out by name. He doesn't break you to harm you. He breaks what binds you. When you sense that inner nudge, come away with me for a while. Honor it. Open the scriptures before you open the world. Trade 10 minutes of noise for 10 minutes of nearness. In that exchange, your discernment sharpens, your heart steadies, and your next step appears. There will be signs as this divine reset unfolds. Some will be large and public. Many will be intimate and precise. A line in a book that glows like a lamp in your spirit. A dream that refuses to fade with the morning. A conversation that carries an answer you didn't know how to phrase. Do not trample these breadcrumbs with busyness. Pick them up, pray them through, journal them. Bring them to Jesus in plain words. Lord, is this you? He is not cryptic with children who ask. Consider how the enemy's strategy often arrives, not as fire, but as fog, not as a roaring lion, but as a soft algorithm that siphons attention and numbs wonder. Fog makes you forget where you were heading. That's why guarding your spirit in this season is less about building walls and more about building a rhythm. Prayer before phone, scripture before schedule, worship before work, Sabbath before burnout, wise counsel before impulsive decision. Holiness is not a mood, it's a cadence, and cadence becomes courage. You may feel unqualified. Good. God never waited for flawless resumes. He waits for yielded hearts. The mantle of chosen is not earned. It is entrusted. You are not here because you did everything right. You're here because His mercy is relentless. Your task is not to manufacture purpose, but to agree with it. Agreement looks like small, stubborn obedience. Forgiving without applause, telling the truth when it costs, closing the tab when it poisons peace, blessing the person who misunderstood you, returning to the secret place when everything in you wants distraction. Let me speak to the ache, the nights when you thought you misheard God, the prayers that went unanswered long enough to bruise your hope, the doors that shut with no explanation. None of that was wasted. Heaven does not lose track of tears. Delay is not denial, it is design. The reset that is approaching will not reduce you, it will reveal you. What looked like subtraction was actually calibration, so that when the wave rises, you ride it, instead of being buried beneath it. The difference won't be charisma, it will be foundation. So set your foundation now. Speak life into your own chest. I am not random, I am seen, I am assigned, I am protected. Release bitterness, confess what needs confession. Ask for clean hands and a pure heart. Bless your enemies by name. Break agreement with shame. Invite the Holy Spirit to audit your attention and restructure your rhythms. Lift your eyes from the headlines to the hills, from anxiety to authority, from spectacle to presence. Jesus is not a footnote to this reset. He is the center of it. Stay with Him and your steps will find their path. Stay to the end of this message because the instructions matter. Clarity arrives for those who remain. Doubt will offer you an exit. Fear will tempt you to scroll away. Resist both. The one who called you to this moment will speak to you through it. You are not ordinary. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are chosen for such a time as this. And the first act of your obedience is simply this: be fully here. Breathe, Jesus. Exhale. I am ready. Heaven heard you. The wave is already moving, and grace is already making you strong enough to stand in it. Chosen one, before we step deeper into the revelation, I need you to act, not later, not after distractions pull you away, but right now. This is not about pressing a button or leaving a comment for vanity. It is about aligning your spirit with heaven in a visible prophetic way. I want you to type the number 999 below. Why 999? Because it's not just a number. In the spirit, 999 is the code of divine completion, the seal of spiritual awakening. It speaks of endings, but not endings drenched in fear, endings that carry the fragrance of fulfillment. 999 signals that the cycle of delay is closed, that the season of wandering is being written into history, and that heaven is opening the scroll of who you are becoming. When you type 999, you are not just filling a comment section. You are making a declaration across realms. God, I hear you. I am awake. I am ready. Think of it like Noah hammering planks into the ark before anyone saw a single drop of rain. His obedience looked foolish until the flood arrived. Your keystroke may seem small, but in the spirit, it is as weighty as Noah's hammer. Each digit you type is a drumbeat that tells heaven, this one is listening, this one is responding. And when heaven sees obedience, heaven responds with outpouring. Do not underestimate this act. Symbolic obedience carries supernatural power. Moses lifted a rod and seas split. Joshua marched around walls and they collapsed. A widow poured oil into jars and they never ran dry. None of these acts made sense in the natural, but in the spiritual, they unlocked miracles. 999 is your oil, your rod, your march. It is the key to show you're in agreement with the reset God is initiating in you. And let me say this with love. Don't type it casually. Don't tap it as if you're testing a keypad. Pause, breathe, pray. Then type it with intention, knowing every stroke echoes into eternity. Imagine your spirit etching on heaven's walls, awake, alive, ready. Now to every chosen one who has already responded before, even through giving, through sharing, through standing with this message, I want to pause with gratitude. Your faithfulness doesn't just support a video, it builds an altar in the digital wilderness. It takes courage to sow into a message many dismiss. Yet you know, this is not entertainment, this is empowerment. And because of you, these words reach further, awaken more souls, and reclaim more territory for light. But hear me clearly, even if you never give a cent, even if you never press super thanks or share, your presence here is not a lesser gift. You are seen, you are valued, your attention is sacred currency. The mere act of listening, of leaning in with your spirit, is an offering. The Father delights in your hunger, not your wallet. He honors your openness, not your algorithms. So as you align with this prophetic act, as you type 999, let it be more than a signal to me. Let it be a covenant between you and God. Say within, I will not scroll past destiny. I will not sleep through awakening. I declare I am chosen. I am marked. I am ready. Because what's coming next carries instructions your life has been waiting for. Do not let fear nudge you away. Do not let doubt whisper, it's just a video. No, this is the sign you've been asking for, the confirmation you couldn't name, the flame meant to set your path alight. Stay, focus, let your heart be steady. The shift is already in motion, and the next words will not be commentary, they will be compass. Chosen one, type 999, seal the covenant and prepare, for the divine wave is rising, and you were born to ride it. Chosen one, lean in, because the Spirit is unveiling something heavier now. What is stirring in the unseen is not just a passing moment, not just an emotional wave. It is a divine recalibration, a cosmic adjustment sent by the very hand of God. The earth is trembling in ways most cannot name. Systems are collapsing, illusions are shattering, and destinies are being rearranged like constellations in the night sky. You have felt the pressure, haven't you? That sense that something vast is hovering just beyond the veil. That pressure is not imagination. It is the forewarning of a spiritual tide about to sweep across the earth. But here is the truth. This wave is not meant to drown you. It is meant to distinguish you. God is drawing a clear line between those who laugh off the warnings and those who listen, those who delay and those who prepare. The divine reset is coming to reveal what is real and to sweep away what is false. And you, yes, you have been summoned not to cower, but to stand as a vessel of clarity when confusion roars louder. Look back at Scripture. When Noah heard the warning of rain, he obeyed when the skies were still clear. He built an ark while the world mocked, but the moment the heavens opened, the ridicule ended and obedience became salvation. What if the whisper you've been hearing is your ark-building moment? What if the preparation you begin now is the very thing that will preserve you through what others will be crushed by? Don't dismiss the urgency. This isn't political, this isn't cultural, this is spiritual. You are being positioned at the shoreline of history where a wave greater than empires is forming. Will you ride it or will it bury you? The Lord is faithful. He will guard those who anchor themselves in Him, 2 Thessalonians 3:3. But the anchor must be dropped before the storm, not during it. Think of the prophets of old. Jeremiah wept for a nation that wouldn't listen. Ezekiel saw wheels within wheels because heaven was trying to awaken a stubborn generation. These men weren't crazy, they were tuned. And today, God is tuning you. The restlessness you feel isn't dysfunction, it's calibration. You're being aligned with frequencies most ignore. You are being readied to hear when the thunder breaks and to see when others are blinded by fear. But God doesn't just speak through the past. He confirms it in the present. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Born into trauma and rejection, she could have lived hidden in her pain. Instead, she leaned into the whisper of destiny. Long before her influence reached nations, she had cultivated her inner alignment. She often speaks about divine timing, about preparation that happened in obscurity before the world ever applauded. Her story is not random. It is a mirror of how God takes ashes and breathes them into fire. Her reset was not punishment, it was positioning. So hear me, your own hardships, your strange separations, your wilderness seasons, they have not been wasted. They have been hammer and chisel shaping your soul into an arc. They have been your training ground, and when the wave crests, you won't just survive. You will guide others through it. But preparation requires intention. This is not a time to float aimlessly in distraction. This is the hour to root yourself in prayer, to armor yourself with truth, to choose consecration over convenience. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27-12. Do not be among the simple. Do not shrug off the signs. Every contraction in the earth is a birth pang of something heaven is about to deliver. Chosen one, ask yourself, are your roots deep enough to withstand the flood? Is your spirit armored against the schemes of distraction? Have you surrendered the habits that dull your discernment? Because the wave is not waiting for your convenience. It is already gathering. And yet take courage. The God who warns is also the God who carries. He is not calling you to fear, but to faith. He is not summoning you to collapse, but to rise. Just as he raised Noah above the waters, just as he turned ridicule into vindication, so will he lift you when the storm begins to rage. But only if you obey now while the skies are still clear. Chosen one, a divine wave is rising. Heaven is adjusting the axis of the earth. And this message, this very moment, is your confirmation. Do not be found unprepared. Anchor yourself, align yourself, and ready yourself to ride what is coming. For the wave will not be delayed, and the time to prepare is not tomorrow, it is now. Chosen one, have you noticed how the intensity of your battles has increased? How loneliness has grown louder? How the clarity you once carried feels clouded by sudden confusion? These are not accidents, they are confirmations. You are on heaven's radar, and the closer you draw to your assignment, the greater the resistance becomes. The warfare around you is not evidence of abandonment, it is evidence of calling. Trials are not random punishments, they are training grounds. The spiritual principle is this: fire refines gold, and isolation forges leaders. Think of the wilderness Jesus walked into after his baptism. Before he spoke to the crowds, he faced silence, temptation, and hunger. Why? Because the desert purifies motives and strengthens obedience. The same desert winds are blowing through your life now, not to destroy you, but to prepare you. This is why distractions come disguised as harmless entertainment. This is why doubts feel louder at night. This is why delays sting like rejection. The enemy is not afraid of your comfort. He is terrified of your clarity. If he can't kill your purpose, he will try to confuse it. That's why the Apostle Paul wrote, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Ephesians 6:11. Armor is not optional for the chosen, it is essential. Look at history. Nelson Mandela sat in a prison cell for 27 years. The world saw captivity, but God saw consecration. Isolation became preparation. When the gates opened, Mandela didn't emerge broken. He emerged as a leader who carried wisdom forged in silence. What the enemy meant as confinement, heaven repurposed as training. Could it be that your current walls are not prisons, but proving grounds? Or take Malala Yousafzai. As a young girl, extremists tried to silence her voice with violence, but what happened? The attempt at destruction only amplified her message. The bullet meant to end her purpose became the spotlight that carried it across the globe. That is the paradox of being chosen. The more you are attacked, the more heaven affirms your assignment. Chosen one, this is why your path feels heavier than others. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are being stripped of illusions so that your foundation is immovable. You are being taught to discern distraction from destiny, doubt from discernment, convenience from consecration. And every tear, every night of questioning, every door that slams shut has been allowed by God to strengthen what cannot be shaken. So do not despise the trial. Do not curse the solitude. Do not mislabel the fog. What looks like pressure is really preparation. What feels like exile is really elevation in disguise. The enemy may attack, but he cannot define the outcome. God is faithful. He will establish you and guard you against the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. This is your hour to wear your armor with intention. Guard your mind with truth. Guard your heart with faith. Guard your steps with prayer. Every arrow of distraction that flies at you is a backhanded compliment. It means hell recognizes the weight of your assignment. And every time you stand, every time you refuse to retreat, you testify not only to the enemy, but to yourself. I am chosen, I am covered, I am ready. So breathe, chosen one. The trial is not your tomb, it is your threshold. What you are enduring is not the end. It is the evidence that your beginning is near. Stand in it, walk through it, and know this: the fire may rage, but you will not be consumed. Chosen one, let us pause and reflect on a mystery most overlook. Why is it that the chosen often seem to carry heavier storms than others? Why do your trials sting sharper, your obstacles last longer, your tests arrive more often? It's not because you are forgotten, it's because you are marked. Those set apart for divine assignment are not shielded from fire, they are refined by it. Scripture makes it plain. Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. 1 Peter chapter 4:12. Fire is the language of transformation. It burns away illusion, consumes impurity, and leaves only what is eternal. That is why your battles have been intense, not as punishment, but as purification. Think of John 15:2. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Pruning feels like loss, like subtraction. Yet the gardener's knife is not meant to kill, but to multiply. When you feel cut back, you are really being prepared for greater growth. This is why what looked like rejection was really redirection. What felt like delay was actually design. Look to the stories around us. J.K. Rowling, before becoming a name spoken in every corner of the globe, sat in poverty, rejected by publishers again and again. Yet in her obscurity, faith and resilience were forged. What looked like endless endings was really a long beginning. Her pain became her portal. So it may be with you. The season you call failure may be the soil God calls foundation. Or remember Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't simply a political figure, he was a vessel of moral awakening. Threatened, jailed, misunderstood, yet unshaken in his clarity. His trials did not silence him, they clarified him. When others saw walls, he saw windows. He understood that suffering was not an interruption to calling, it was the crucible that gave it weight. Even in modern disruption, we see the same thread. Elon Musk, whatever one thinks of him, embodies divine disruption as a principle. He risked reputation, wealth, and stability for visions no one else believed possible. Reusable rockets, electric cars, digital revolutions. Each disruption brought ridicule before it brought recognition. That is the pattern of the chosen, mocked before they are magnified. Chosen one, your path mirrors these examples in its own way. You have carried storms others cannot see, nights when your prayers felt unanswered, seasons where every door seemed to shut at once, days when betrayal cut deeper than any sword. But these are not signs of abandonment. They are confirmations of your assignment. God allows the fire not to destroy you, but to reveal the unburnable within you. And here lies the secret. Suffering refines not just your strength, but your sight. It sharpens discernment, teaches patience, and anchors faith where comfort never could. The chosen do not emerge from the furnace bitter. They emerge brighter. Like gold purified 7 times, your soul is being prepared to carry weight without cracking. So the question is not, why me? The question is, what is being birthed through me? What if the battle you face right now is not punishment, but pregnancy? What if your pain is labor, and the contraction is not ending, but beginning? Heaven does not waste agony. Every scar becomes strategy. Every tear waters the soil of tomorrow's harvest. Chosen one, do not confuse heaviness with hopelessness. The storm is the sculptor, the trial is the teacher, the fire is the forge. And you, yes, you are being fashioned into a vessel strong enough to carry light into darkness. The harder the shaping, the greater the assignment. So lift your head in the fire. Say to your soul, this pressure is not my prison, it is my promotion. Endure not with resignation, but with revelation. Because on the other side of this trial is not just survival. On the other side waits destiny. And you, chosen one, are almost there. Chosen one, let's speak of something that feels unsettling but is truly sacred, the cleansing storm. The divine reset is not coming merely to comfort you, it is coming to detox you. When the Spirit of God moves like a thunderstorm across the soul, He is not here to rearrange the furniture, He is here to renovate the entire house. The heaviness you've been feeling, the emotions rising without explanation, the restlessness that won't let you settle, these are not signs of failure. They are signs of healing. Think of it this way: when the earth is parched, storms sweep in with lightning and rain. The sky darkens, winds whip, trees bend. For a moment it feels like destruction, but when it passes, the air is clean, the ground is refreshed, and life begins again. Your soul is walking through such a storm. God is stirring what you buried, what you ignored, what you numbed. Old wounds, forgotten bitterness, hidden fears. They're surfacing, not to shame you, but to free you. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. Do not panic when tears flow without warning. Do not retreat when anger, grief, or confusion rise to the surface. These are the toxins leaving your system. Your spirit is detoxing decades of noise, and though it feels like chaos, it is actually order returning. You are not falling apart, you are being rebuilt. History whispers the same truth. Simone Biles, the Olympic champion, chose to step back at the peak of her career. The world called it weakness, but in time, it was revealed as wisdom. She guarded her foundation, valued her spirit above applause, and became a symbol of sacred rest. That is what cleansing looks like. Courage to pause when the world demands performance. Or think of Michael Jordan. Every failure, every missed shot, every defeat became fuel. He didn't deny his losses. He used them. He saw setbacks not as evidence of weakness, but as confirmation of growth. Your spiritual storms work the same way. They are not verdicts against you. They are vitamins for your soul. What feels like breakdown is often breakthrough disguised. And then here, the promise. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. God wastes nothing, even the seasons you thought were lost, the relationships you mourn, the time you regret. He gathers them like scattered pieces and weaves them into restoration. The storm doesn't steal your destiny, it clears the path toward it. So, chosen one, allow the storm to pass through you. Let the winds of truth blow away the dust of lies. Let the rain of grace wash the residue of shame. Let the thunder of conviction break the chains of fear. This is not divine cruelty. It is divine cleansing. Like spring cleaning that digs into forgotten corners, the Spirit is reaching into places you've ignored. He is throwing out what no longer serves and polishing what was buried under neglect. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will demand surrender, but discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the evidence that God is digging deep. You are being emptied so you can be filled. You are being stripped so you can shine. The storm that terrifies others will be your transformation. So stand in it. Do not run from the cleansing wind. Whisper as it moves through you, Lord, wash me. Lord, renew me. Lord, prune me. Because when the clouds part and the air clears, you will not be the same. You will be lighter, sharper, freer, and above all, you will be ready. Chosen one, the divine reset is not passive. It does not unfold while you sit idle, waiting for destiny to knock on your door. No, this is a co-creation moment between you and heaven. God has sounded the call, but He is waiting for your response. And the response He desires is not hesitation, it is obedience. Obedience even when it makes no sense. Obedience even when the path looks unstable. Obedience even when fear whispers louder than faith. Consider this. Noah did not wait for rain to start hammering wood. Abraham left his homeland without a map. Mary said yes to carrying a child when her world would call her cursed. What do they have in common? They obeyed before they understood, and their obedience unlocked history. This is the pattern. Small acts of surrender become the seed of great movements. God does not measure your worthiness by perfection, but by willingness. He is not looking for flawless resumes. He is looking for yielded hearts. That is why obedience is not weakness, it is activation. Every time you say yes, you shift from waiting to walking, from potential to purpose. Look at Harriet Tubman. She had no worldly advantage, born into slavery, stripped of resources, hunted by those who feared her courage. Yet when she heard the divine whisper to lead others into freedom, she obeyed. She walked in darkness, trusted visions God gave her in dreams, and became a deliverer. What the world saw as impossible, obedience transformed into legacy. Chosen one, your yes carries the same weight. It doesn't just shape your story, it shapes generations. Or think of Greta Thunberg, just a teenager, yet her obedience to a conviction, sitting outside Parliament with a handmade sign, ignited a global movement. Her act was small in the natural, but massive in the spirit. That's how obedience works. Heaven breathes on what looks insignificant and multiplies it until nations take notice. But here's the truth. Obedience is not glamorous. It often feels hidden, uncelebrated, costly. Saying no to the wrong relationship, turning down an opportunity that doesn't align with your calling, choosing prayer over distraction, purity over compromise, rest over performance. These are not small choices. They are the daily bricks that build your ark. Remember Joshua 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Strength is not found in your circumstances. It is found in your surrender. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to obey despite fear. Chosen one, the world is full of noise, urging you to chase applause, follow trends, and measure success by numbers. But heaven measures differently. Heaven counts faithfulness, not followers. Heaven crowns obedience, not opinions. When you align with God's whisper, you may not see instant results, but you will see eternal fruit. So what is God asking of you now? To forgive the one who wronged you, to step into a project you've delayed, to return to prayer with discipline, to let go of bitterness that poisons your spirit. Whatever it is, delay is disobedience. The longer you wait, the further the wave rises without you. But when you act, when you say yes, the current lifts you instead of crushing you. Chosen one, your surrender is your strategy. Your obedience is your shield. and your alignment is your access. Heaven has already written the blueprint, but you must choose to build. Do not wait for perfect conditions, they will never arrive. Do not wait for the approval of people, they may never give it. Move now, act now, obey now, because this is the hour where obedience separates those who collapse under the shift from those who rise with it. And you, yes, you are not called to collapse. You are called to rise. Chosen one, the wave is no longer approaching. It is already rising. And with it come signs, signals, and whispers that only the spiritually awake will recognize. Heaven has been scattering breadcrumbs on your path, divine hints pointing to what is unfolding. The question is not whether the signs exist. The question is, will you perceive them? Look around your life. Have you noticed sudden endings, friendships that dissolve without explanation, opportunities that quietly close, people drifting away from your orbit? Do not mourn them as losses. See them for what they are, alignment. God is removing what cannot journey with you into the next season. What looks like subtraction is actually preservation. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Isaiah 60:2. You may have also felt it in the atmosphere, a strange unease, a heightened sensitivity, a pull towards solitude and silence. That is not anxiety, it is attunement. Heaven is tuning your spirit to its frequency, the way a musician tunes an instrument before the song begins. The restlessness you feel is calibration. Don't run from it, lean into it. History shows us how unmistakable divine signs can be. Joan of Arc heard voices from heaven that guided her through battles and destiny. Though dismissed as delusional by many, her alignment with the divine voice carried her into history as a leader no one could ignore. The same God who whispered to Joan is whispering to you, not in riddles, but in frequencies your spirit already knows. Or consider Nikola Tesla. He often spoke of frequencies and vibrations as the keys to unlocking the universe. While his insights were scientific, his sensitivity was spiritual. He tuned into what others overlooked. You, chosen one, are being invited to the same posture, to notice what others dismiss, to discern patterns in what others call coincidence, to hear the spirit in what others call noise. Even in the shadows of chaos, divine clarity rises. Think of Anne Frank, hiding in silence, yet writing words filled with hope and light. Her circumstances screamed despair, but her spirit sang clarity. That's what it looks like to recognize divine signs in the midst of storms. Chosen one, what about you? Are you watching the news with fear, or are you discerning the times with faith? Are you grieving closed doors, or are you celebrating the hand of God making room for your destiny? The signs won't always be grand or dramatic. Sometimes they appear in the smallest moments. A dream that lingers in your chest, a stranger's words that echo an unanswered prayer, a sudden peace that descends when logic says you should panic. These are not random. They are confirmations, fingerprints of heaven on the canvas of your life. But beware, the same signs that awaken the chosen will confuse the unprepared. For those asleep in spirit, the shift will feel like chaos. For those awake, it will feel like prophecy fulfilled. Others will panic, but you will perceive. Others will resist, but you will recognize. That difference is not about superiority, it is about sight. So guard your discernment. Stay anchored in prayer. Stay present in stillness. Keep your inner lamp full of oil, like the wise virgins who were ready when the bridegroom came. Do not let distraction drain your focus. Do not let fear blind your vision. For when the signs unfold, and they will, you will not only notice them, you will know what they mean. Chosen one, this is your invitation to live awake, to see beyond coincidence, to interpret what others ignore, to recognize the glow in the heavens, the trembling in your spirit, the quiet rearranging of your life as heaven's handwriting. And when you do, peace will flood your soul because you will realize you are not drifting. You are being guided. Chosen one, the wave that is rising does not touch everyone the same way. To the unprepared, it will feel like chaos, like swimming against an invisible current, muscles straining, lungs burning, hope slipping. But to you, if you are aligned, it will feel like elevation. The same storm that knocks others down will lift you higher. The difference is not luck, it is foundation. Scripture warns, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. Proverbs 10:25. The storm is impartial, it comes for all, but the outcome depends on what your life is rooted in. If your foundation is sand, the shaking will collapse it. If your foundation is rock, the shaking will reveal it. The reset is not about favoritism, it is about positioning. Look through history and see this pattern. Rosa Parks didn't shout, didn't raise a weapon, she simply stayed seated. One quiet act of obedience shifted the course of a nation. What others saw as stillness, heaven saw as a spark. When the wave comes, you don't need to be loud, you need to be aligned. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years of imprisonment. To the world, he looked finished, but to God, he was in refinement. When the gates opened, he didn't emerge bitter, he emerged brighter, carrying authority that could only be forged in the silence of confinement. Chosen one, what if your waiting season is not wasted but weaponized? What if the silence you resent is the sanctuary where God is sharpening you? Consider Corrie ten Boom, who in the horrors of a concentration camp still whispered forgiveness, still clung to faith, still guarded her spirit against hatred. She lost almost everything in the natural, but her soul remained unshaken. Even after the war, she carried light into nations. That's the power of spiritual preparation. It makes you unbreakable even in unthinkable places. And think of Frida Kahlo, confined by pain, body racked with suffering, yet she turned her agony into art that echoes across generations. What tried to crush her became the canvas for her legacy. This is what the divine reset does. It takes what seems unbearable and transforms it into a testimony that others cannot ignore. Chosen one, you may wonder why your journey feels heavier, lonelier, stranger than most. It is because you are being readied for leadership in a season when many will crumble. While others panic at the shaking, you will stand firm. While others cling to comfort, you will cling to calling. While others drown in confusion, you will breathe clarity. But hear this warning. Distraction is the enemy's sharpest weapon. He does not always roar. Sometimes he whispers through endless scrolling toxic voices, numbing habits. He lulls the unprepared to sleep while the wave builds. That is why your discipline matters now. Every prayer is armor. Every act of surrender is shelter. Every moment of stillness with God is an anchor. The divine reset reveals chosen one. It reveals who has been playing with faith and who has been preparing in faith. It reveals who has oil in their lamp and who has only empty flame. It reveals who has built on rock and who has built on sand. You are being called to stand on the rock, to be the lighthouse others will look toward when the sky darkens. So ask yourself, are you ready? Are you fortified or just entertained by faith? Have you cultivated silence or only filled your life with noise? The difference will show when the wave crashes. But know this, you were not chosen to fall. You were chosen to rise. The storm is not your end, it is your unveiling. Chosen one, the separation is already beginning. Let it not terrify you, but solidify you, because when the dust settles, those who endure will not just survive, they will lead. And you, yes, you are among them. Chosen one, we have walked through warning, through preparation, through fire, through cleansing. Now comes the commissioning. This is not the moment to shrink back in fear. This is the moment to step into the mantle heaven has been weaving over your life in silence. You have been refined, tested, and stretched, not to destroy you, but to reveal you. Everything you have endured, Every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every season of pruning was not wasted. It was building you for this hour. Hear this with your spirit. You are not here to blend in. You are here to blaze. You are not surviving by chance. You are standing because heaven decreed it. You were chosen, not because of perfection, but because of obedience. And obedience is greater than brilliance. Obedience opens doors no intellect can force. It draws down favor no human hand can grant. The world may not understand your fire. People may misinterpret your silence, your boundaries, your focus. Let them. Those who are not aligned cannot interpret chosen ones. Even Jesus was misunderstood by his own family, yet heaven knew who he was. So too, heaven knows you, and heaven is sealing you now with authority. Take this blessing into your bones. May the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. May your clarity be sharper than confusion. May your spirit stand taller than fear. May distractions lose their grip, and may wisdom anchor your every step. Chosen one, as the divine reset ripples across the earth, you will feel the tremors, but you will not be shaken. You will see systems collapse, but you will not collapse. You will hear the noise of panic, but your soul will carry peace like a river. Why? Because you are not just witnessing the shift. You are part of the reason for it. God has planted you as a lighthouse, a signal of hope in a time of storm. So rise with compassion, rise with grace, rise with courage. Your radiance will not come from striving, but from surrender. You will shine, not because you seek spotlight, but because light cannot be hidden. Your very presence will become a sermon. Your walk will become a witness. Your endurance will become a testimony. And as you rise, others will rise with you. For the chosen are not crowned for themselves alone. They are crowned to carry others. Your voice will awaken the weary. Your wisdom will steady the fearful. Your endurance will inspire the broken. This is not pride. It is purpose. Chosen one, you are commissioned. You are sealed. You are unstoppable. Not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord who covers you. The reset is not coming, it is here. And now you are to walk boldly into everything heaven declared over you since the beginning of time. Remember, you are chosen, you are covered, you are crowned, you are unstoppable. Go forth with peace, with prayer, with purpose. The same God who called you will carry you through. You were born for this moment. Rise, chosen one, your time has come.